Fruit Monster! Life's sweet, eat it up! www.fruitmonster.com.
Hey guys, it's me, Nick, Farmer Fruit Monster, and it's getting into what's the equivalent of late September back in the United States, which is the end of March here in Australia. And that means it's time for me to do some different things in my garden to get ready for the winter and the frosts and things like that, because a lot of plants can't take frosts. So I thought I'd show you what I'm doing in my garden so you guys can kind of see where you might end up if you had a garden around this time of the year. So this time of the year, we're going to start to get pumpkins. We should have been getting zucchinis for a while. You can see some little zucchini plants here. There's a zucchini. And your tomatoes are going to be getting to their last leg. Eggplants should be coming out, which is those guys right there. Here's some squash I got going, spaghetti squash. Those are going to be showing up. And yeah, here's some more pumpkins over there. So let's take it back and go through here one step at a time and show you what I'm doing to get ready for the winter. So right here, and I'm going to make another post about this. This is some carrots underneath some newspaper that are going to be germinating, because carrots are good at handling the frosts. Another thing I've done over here is there's going to be a row right here that I've put in of little tiny baby guys. You can barely see them right there. Of broccoli, and then also some little baby cabbage plants right there. And there's a cauliflower that's going to get picked soon. And here's some beets that I've got started. Those will also do well in the winter as long as it doesn't get too ridiculously cold. And over here I've planted some broad beans. Broad beans and peas, they do great in the winter too. And in here you can see some little pieces of grassy looking guys. Those are leeks. And they'll take a little while to go, but they can grow over the winter as well. In there I've got some parsnips. And in the center I've planted, and you can barely see them because they're just little baby guys, more broccoli and cauliflower. Yeah, and so let's walk over here to the other side. And here's a few more things I've got going. Some more broccolis, some more strings of cabbages, which you can plant in rows. Just kind of, put your hand out there like that big, and that's about how big a broccoli and a cauliflower and a cabbage, how much space they need. And in the back there's some Brussels sprouts. So that's what those guys look like. And we can see at this time of the year you're going to be getting the last of your capsicums. So there's some capsicums or bell peppers in there, and some little chilies. And my kale has just gotten ginormous. It's probably about a meter and a half tall, so about 4 feet tall. It's really cool. And in here in the pumpkin patch, we can find some pumpkins that are getting ready. We've only got about 4 or 5 more weeks until we get our first heavy frost in Australia. So hopefully this guy will be ready by then. We've got a few more of those guys showing up. There's a little baby one right there in the grass, hidden. There we go. Hopefully he'll be ready in time too, but he might be pushing it. So yeah, there's some more of the big area pumpkin patch, and we went back hunting in there. We'd find some more pumpkins. Here's another great thing they show up in the winter, and that is sugar snap peas. So these sugar snap peas, you can see on them, they got these little filaments because they're good at climbing. So you got to give them a little trellis to go up, which is why I got all these wires here. And then as we go across, there's all sorts of sugar snap peas there. I'm looking for some goodies out of that. And then I got some more broad beans over here with some more kale and tomatoes. And yeah, you can see there's some more broad beans that are a little bit taller right there. And broad beans are the types of beans you got to cook real well to eat, or otherwise they'll probably make you really farty. I got some carrots that are coming out, but here's one of the things I've learned to like the most, and that's climbing beans. I've made another video about these, but I cannot tell you how awesomely productive climbing beans are. Climbing beans, I mean, this little patch right here, just that little patch, I have gotten several kilos, or lots of pounds, about 2 pounds in a kilo of climbing beans out of this little patch, and they'll go through the winter too, which is great. And in the front, I still got my spinach patch, which should last as long as we don't get extremely deep frost, which would be crazy for Canberra. That's probably not going to happen. And some cauliflower, more cauliflower maturing, and some beets I'm going to pull out today. I'm going to make some pickled beets. That'll be fun. But yeah, so in the wintertime, when you're getting into late autumn, here in Australia around Easter time, a little bit before that, what you need to do is move over to frost-hardy plants, plants that can handle the frost. That includes beans, peas, carrots, anything in the brassica family, which is like parsnips and cauliflower and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage, and put those in. It's going to get cold. They're not going to grow very fast, but come early spring, you should have your first harvest to pull out of there before you start putting stuff in for the summertime again. So anyway, let's look at the Fruit Monster garden here in Australia in late March. I hope that was informative, and I hope it makes you want to garden, because you should garden, because gardens are awesome. And there's pretty much no excuse to garden, because you can garden anywhere, and I'm going to cover some of that. Look at my palette making video, my palette garden video, for one idea. I'm going to come up with some more too. Peace, love, and fruit, guys. Farmer FruitMonster out.
Fruit Monster.